Gentlemen, the diet of a minimalist. In this video, we're going to be discussing the concepts I use personally to get the most out of your diet and training with the least amount of input to maximize the most amount of output. We're going to discuss all those little details. I got my notes right here. Can't wait to hop into this. If you were brand new to my channel, the way these videos are meant to be enjoyed is almost like listening to a podcast, okay? There's not gonna be much visually stimulating going on. I just want to share my ideas with you. You absorb the information I give and then go apply what you think is interesting. That's what we're here to discuss. I like to approach things from a minimalist perspective, specifically around my training. I think it's fascinating. I draw from concepts like Mike Mentzer, my own study, breathwork, stuff like that. So if you find any of that interesting, philosophy, business, self-improvement, go subscribe. Check out my channel. I post a ton of content. I'm getting back into my groove. Anyways, I'm done yapping at you because I want to drop the information to you as soon as humanly possible. Here we go. So the main point of this video is really to maximize the most important part of training, okay? Diet is more important than the actual getting into the gym itself. The gym is great. It's going to lead to more of the physicality feeling of progress. You're going to see the weight go up. Fantastic. But if you don't have your diet on lock, as most of you know, you're actually going to get nothing out of your progress in the gym. It's as simple as that. So I want to talk about how you can streamline that process as much as possible to get the most out of your diet without it consuming your life force. Because that's genuinely the worst thing ever, is someone who's so consumed with how they have to approach their diet that they can't get anything out of their life. And this is about having a lifestyle that fitness adds to. It doesn't take away from everything. If you're going into bodybuilding and that is your life, I respect that. Go do that, okay? But here's for kind of like the normal lifestyle. That's what I want to discuss with you guys. So, as I was saying, diet really contributes to about 80% of your results in the gym. It's the most important factor. If you neglect your diet, if you stop eating healthy, if you don't actually focus on hitting your protein and eating either on a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus and then eating high quality food where you can, you're not going to yield the results that you're really trying to get out of this process. I'm going to talk about a few other things as well, including like electrolytes, coffee, fasting, other aspects that go into how I diet myself personally, and just little concepts I use to get ahead and how I get in shape, how I focus on eating higher quality things and manipulating my intake to have a better lifestyle overall. So I wanted to discuss a little story now about what my diet used to look like, because some of you might relate to this. First off, we got some black coffee. Don't forget that. That's the biggest thing, is how I want you guys to enjoy these videos. Have some black coffee with me. This is meant to be watched in the morning. There's a bunch of sunlight coming in my room right now. It's great. We're riding that caffeine high. It's fantastic. So I have very distinct memories as when I was first starting to getting into training, freshman, sophomore in high school. I'm doing push-ups, I'm going to the gym, hitting chest day, I'm learning how to do pull-ups, all that good stuff. Some of you might relate to this. You're brand new to the gym. You're probably still in high school yourself. But my breakfast would consist of like mac and cheese in the morning, one of those Kraft mac and cheeses. It was thrown in the microwave because it was convenient. Or my continual diet. This one was really bad. I still cannot fathom how I would eat this, but like not be absolutely super fat. I used to be fat when I was younger. I'll talk about that in a second. But I used to have these Trader Joe's frozen pizzas that I would throw in the oven. And I would eat that. That was like my go-to lunch after school or something like it's astronomically unfathomable, the diet that I have now compared to how I used to eat and how I was okay with it. There's a lot of things that people get kind of caught up in today's society, not realizing how actually bad for you that is. Like sugary coffee is one example. Someone's like, oh, I gotta get my caffeine in, and they just down 50 grams of sugar in their morning coffee. Or someone who looks at something that's like, oh, it's a green juice, I'm gonna have that. Not all green juice is good for you. Not every single meal has to be straight vegetables, okay? You gotta prioritize your protein too, but that's just a side rant, okay? A lot of today's modern standards of fad diets and the latest and greatest approach. I used to even be all like, oh my gosh, I might do carnivore, or I'm gonna like hop into my, animal-based diet eating where I'm not going to touch any vegetables. You know, you could check some of my older videos and I was very like, eat the animal-based diet. It's so good. I've regressed from that a little bit, okay? I'm more focused on hitting all my micro and macronutrients, eating healthy food that makes me feel good. So I'm not afraid to start having some veggies in my diet. I have been incorporating that. We'll get into that more. But anyways, my diet was horrendous. I was skinny fat for most of high school. You know, I didn't look like fat per se, but I had like no muscle and I just looked generally soft. Not really much development going on. And when I was younger, maybe like elementary, middle school, my parents, you know, we didn't have that much disposable income from my understanding. I don't know all the specifics about that, but we would not eat the highest quality food. And when I was a younger kid, I was chubby. I'll find a picture, maybe I'll put up on screen or whatever. I'm sure you can find something on my Instagram, but like, I was a fat little kid. I was skinny fat in high school. I finally changed all of that. I'm assuming the thumbnail picture has my physique somewhere so you can see my muscularity. That's probably why you clicked on this video, because I know what I'm talking about here, okay? Discipline, training, eating clean, all of those things come together to building a physique that I'm proud of, specifically through minimalist training. So now we're gonna talk about the minimalist diet. So if you relate to that, you know, you're skinny fat or you don't know what to eat, you struggle to actually streamline how to eat your diet. Maybe it's too expensive. I don't know. But first off, the advice I want to give, I actually don't have this written down on my notes, but I'm just realizing this right now. In the past like week and a half or so, I haven't ate out. I ate out twice. Generally, when I go into like my monk mode phases, I'm not eating out at all. Nothing. So if you can really, this is like the first step of advice I'm going to give you. If you can scale back eating out as much as humanly possible and follow the steps I'm going to give you here on how to actually just eat like the food you cook, meal prep, and eat the things at home. First off, you're going to save money. If you're not a millionaire, or if you're not making like bank, then focus on saving money by eating home, eating clean. Or two, you're going to be eating clean and your food's going to be healthier. It's going to be less in calories. You're going to actually be able to control and manipulate how much food is on your plate or how many calories are in your food. And you can control the macros and weigh out how much protein you need so you can get closer to accomplishing your goals and building the physique you actually care about. Okay, so eating out less, that's my first step. Honestly, eat out less, okay? The one place I would say maybe I would recommend eating out when you like are feeling the craving to would be Chipotle. Now, first off, Chipotle, I have my reservations about them. You can't control all the factors that are thrown into your bowl, but first off, it's convenient, it's high protein. I know they cook with seed oils, blah, 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 whatever. There is some reservations that I have about Chipotle. It's not perfect, but for fast food, as fast food goes, Chipotle really is a great option. It can accomplish what you need it to as long as you pay attention to what you're eating. A lot of people aren't paying attention to their Chipotle bowls. They're just getting a ton of food in there. That's gonna screw you over, okay? So first thing, stop eating out as much. Control the food that you are putting in your body by being the one who makes it, okay? It's not as convenient, but it's gonna lead to a better version of you. Self-improvement, all of the stuff we're talking about here, building a physique you care about, that's about delayed gratification. So it starts with eating out less. That's the beginning. All right, now, core principle number one, 80-20 principle, all right? 80% of the time, eat locked in, all right? 80% of the time, you're eating the food that you need to be eating to hit your protein. Most of you know the basics, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 160 pounds, you need to be eating 160 grams of protein. That's kind of like the basics, okay? Focus on 80% of the time that you are eating clean, healthy foods that are bringing you towards your goals. The other 20% of the time, eat whatever you want. I don't care, have a cheat day. You know, you can break it down simplified of like, all right, Monday through Saturday, I'm gonna eat completely locked in. And maybe that aligns with your training days. Monday through Saturday, you're also training at the gym. You're gonna eat super clean on those days. Sunday, enjoy whatever you want. Have a rest day, have the food that you wanna have. But my main priority in telling you this is that 80-20 is how you live a sustainable version of having a clean diet. Now, maybe you want to do 95-5. You know, 95% of the time you are eating absolutely perfection. The other 5, do whatever you want. However you want to break that down, but at least the bare minimum should be an 80-20, okay? Because when you have that significant portion of 80% of the time eating healthier, that's going to outwork and outrun all of the little cheat days or the 20% of the time when you're having whatever diet you want. And it keeps your sanity too, because every once in a while you're going to want to have a nice quality meal. That is one of the greatest joys in life, is sitting down and having a nice quality meal with people you care about. Don't disregard that, okay? Yeah, we got goals to pursue. Yeah, we got things that we care about. We got things that we love. But don't forget the fact that having a nice meal with people can be just as important as building an incredible physique. Coffee sip. So, that is the first core principle. 80% of the time, eat clean, okay? You know what clean is. Most of you know. Veggies, fruit, high quality carbs, as in like potatoes, rice, grains that are decently good for you, that are not processed. Basically not processed food, that's my thing. And then protein. I always recommend chicken, beef, lamb maybe, I don't know. But I stick with chicken and beef, that's my personal take. Oh, fish as well. How can I forget fish? Fish is fantastic, really good for you. Chicken, beef, fish, that should be your main protein sources. Dairy as well, throw that in there. But like, you know, essentially try to keep your stuff as least processed as possible. Processed as possible. Fasting. All right, now we're going to talk about core concept number 2, fasting. Now, if you are not religious, maybe you've never done fasting before. I myself am a Christian. I love fasting. It is incredible. I'm actually fasted right now. I haven't had anything since dinner last night, which was about 6:45 p.m. So it's been a little over 12 hours. It's 8:30 right now. It's been 14 hours. 14 hours into a fast. I'm just drinking my black coffee, but my mental clarity is phenomenal. So this is the main reason why I fast. There's 2 reasons. First off, mental clarity. If you've never fasted before, being able to translate ideas, what you're feeling, and work ethic goes through the roof in the mornings when you're fasted. Now, I can't speak for women on this in particular. I know that fasting is very beneficial to men. I don't know about the women's body, but you know, most of my viewers are guys anyways. But if you are a girl watching this, I don't know, go do some other research about how that could be beneficial. Maybe it's not. I don't want to give you any bad advice. For men, there's lots of benefits to fasting. It's kind of like, to get into the bro science of it, from my understanding, you're really just kind of bringing yourself into that like tribal, like manly sort of like pursuit of like, oh my gosh, I don't have any food, I need to get out there and hunt, I gotta get after what I need to. It creates this like extra energy. It's almost like a spiritual energy. It is a spiritual energy, honestly, of pursuing like goals and getting after it, and you don't have this like sluggish like rest and digest vibe going on. When you are fasted, you feel light, you feel quick, and you have all this energy that your body's diverting towards brain power, because it doesn't need to waste any of that significant energy source on digesting food, which it does take up a lot to do that. So my point is, fasting is incredible, okay? Super useful tool. On top of that, especially if you're on a cut, fasting is super, super useful. So here's kind of some practical application methods you could do. So 1, right? Let's say you don't want to do a daily fast where it's like, oh, I'm going to do my intermittent fasting of like, I'm going to eat between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. and then I'm gonna fast the rest of the time. Some people do that. Sometimes I do that. Other times I do a full length fast once a week and just kind of eat whenever. So then it'll be like other phases in my life where I'm like, you know what? Every Tuesday, I'm gonna do a 24-hour fast. I'm just not gonna eat the whole day. And you do a fast like that. Those are equally as effective. It really challenges you mentally and physically. It's great for you. There's so many benefits. Your body goes into a very much like a healing mode. It allows you to have space to start working on healing the areas that have not had a chance to actually have energy diverted to it. I know that sounds really bro science, woo-ah. There's actual science behind it. I'm not the guy who's qualified enough to tell you about that science, but I have heard about it. Go do some research on it. There is tons of benefits to fasting. If you're bulking, maybe don't fast as much. Use your opportunities wisely. If you're trying to put on some mass, put on some weight, I recommend that, especially if you're just brand new to lifting. Focus on bulking. Don't worry about fasting as much, but fasting is an incredible tool. It can help you lose weight. It can help you bring mental clarity, and it puts you in a state of being that just accelerates your progress in all areas, and it feels excellent. I'm like cracked out on so much caffeine right now. All my black coffee, my cold brew, I'm cracked out, I'm fasted, and I'm in this mode of just like pure focus. Fasting brings you into a state of pure focus. So on top of the fact that it's really good for your body, when you are on this like self-improvement pursuit, it brings you into that state of pure focus. So it's incredibly useful. Bring that into a tool on your tool belt within your diet. It's very simple to implement. It's not easy, but it's simple. Okay, next thing. All right, now, black coffee. This is what I want to talk about. This is my superstar. This is the greatest thing ever, okay? I want you to understand how much coffee and caffeine, black coffee, has changed my life. I'm putting this in front of you so you can like look at it, okay? If you are listening to this on podcast, open up the video real quick. Look at this. I've been holding this up here for like 20, 30 seconds. Black coffee, incredible. This will change your life. First off, if you have never experienced caffeine yet, or you're like a guy who's like, oh, I don't really like caffeine, the world's productivity as a whole, society changed when it started to incorporate caffeine into the workforce. Now, we're not your 9-to-5 guys, right? That's not, generally what my community is, but the productivity factor that caffeine brought to society is incredible. It's insane. So the caffeine factor of productivity that can bring to your own life when you use it correctly is just as astonishing. Now, I am not telling you to go and have sugary coffee loaded up with a bunch of crappy like seed oil cut milks, okay? I'm not talking about doing that. This is strictly black coffee. There is a difference. I feel very judgmental of people who load up on their sugary coffees in the morning. Like, I'm not trying to be a hater, but there's really no benefit to that. Like, yeah, you're getting your energy, but now you're just gonna crash right afterwards. What's the point of that? Ruins the entire fact of having a good quality black coffee. Black coffee goes hand in hand with fasting. You want mental focus? Well, perfect. Drink some black coffee and stay fasted in the morning. On top of that, it's not gonna break your fast. It's gonna give you a ton of energy, and it suppresses appetite. So maybe you're feeling hungry in the mornings and you're really struggling with this fasting idea I'm talking about. Boom, suddenly you start drinking some caffeine and you're just like flying around the walls. You have all this energy. If you can divert it into something that's productive, oh my gosh, you will see some serious benefits. I have a good buddy of mine. I put him onto the idea of coffee, right? Using caffeine for work sessions. And he hadn't really been doing that before. And he's like, oh dude, like I have a coffee shop by my house. Oh shoot, camera's starting to overheat. We're gonna pause the video here in a second and I'll re-record. But he's like, dude, my coffee shop right by my house, I'm gonna start doing work sessions there. He starts doing work sessions using coffee, changed his whole life. I'm telling you, absolutely incredible. Okay, I'm gonna pick it back up once my camera stops overheating. Anyways, lost the camera there, it got really hot. My room has a ton of sunlight. We left off talking about black coffee. Really, really good for you. Increases your focus. Phenomenal. Give it a try. Work your way up to it as well. If you really are kind of struggling with just the taste of black coffee, start with some sweetener. It's okay, I understand. I started the same way. Start with some sweetener, have some milk in there, slowly start pulling away those things and focus on getting less and less of like things added to your coffee. And then eventually you'll be able to drink the black coffee. It took me maybe like 5 months to get down to full straight black coffee, but you feel like a cowboy. It's awesome. When you go in and you order a black coffee, I feel like there's a certain like respectability aura about you when you do that. So enjoy it. Now, another thing I want to discuss is electrolytes. Got it on my notes here, very important. Electrolytes are basically your fuel for hydration. I would highly, highly recommend investing in some good quality electrolytes. Now, for me personally, I drink Santa Cruz Paleo. His electrolytes, those are super simple. Check them out. Look for them online. Just search up Santa Cruz electrolytes. You'll find them. They're the first one. Those are really good. Try to do something without a ton of sugar in it. Maybe you can have some stevia, If you're really trying to keep it simple and like the cleanest thing possible, get some like salt and crack it into your water. First, just drink it first thing in the morning. That's what I do, is I have some electrolytes when I wake up. Or if I just finished up an intense training, I'm playing a sport or something and I'm sweating a ton, have your electrolytes. After the sauna, have some electrolytes. It's really good for just keeping your body hydrated. Super important when you're training a bunch. Overall, you can't go wrong with electrolytes. They're good for your energy as well. Your body's gonna feel good. You're gonna feel like a quality, like hydrated energy about you when you have electrolytes. And if you have the right electrolytes that don't have sugar or a ton of crap in it, you are going to feel good. You're not gonna feel bad. You can stay in a fasted state as well when you have your electrolytes. So that's really helpful. Okay, last thing. I wanted to go over just a couple meals that you guys can incorporate into your actual day-to-day, training sessions, how your life looks. Super simple ways to actually make some food, maybe a mini grocery list as well, that you can incorporate and go use right after this video. Now, before we do hop into that, if you are finding this interesting and you do need step-by-step details on how to train like a minimalist, how to get your diet on lock, every single thing A to Z, I have my training program right below. It's the first link in the description. It's currently discounted at the time of this video being recorded because I have not launched the full product. So if that's something you're interested in, if you find this video helpful at all, imagine the wealth of knowledge that I can produce when I go into specific details on the actual product itself. So go check that out, click the first link below. Anyways, back to what we're discussing. So super simple meals that you can make. All right, this is my favorite method to get your protein in, to get a little bit of carbs and some veggies to simplify your diet approach. All right, first off, these are not the most highest quality things you can get, but they are good. They're still really, really good in the right direction of helping you accomplish your goals. It's not the highest quality as in the healthiest and cleanest options, but they're still really good. First off, Minute Maid rice. Those little cups, you know those that you walk past? Phenomenal. So good. Okay, I use those personally myself just so I don't waste rice, because I make rice batches all the time and I just end up wasting them. So I like using those Minute Maid rice cups because they're super useful. Now, if you like making rice yourself, go for it. You can do that as well. But first, start with rice. Get the Minute Maid rice. Then what I recommend doing is either getting some chicken thighs, chicken breast, or ground beef in 85-15, a pound of it. And you're going to dump taco seasoning on there and a little bit of avocado oil. So easy. Air fry the chicken if you really want the easiest way possible, okay? Air fry the chicken, or just smash down the ground beef and cook it up in a pan. It takes about 10 minutes. This entire meal I'm talking to you about right now takes about 10 minutes. So you make your rice, you make your protein, and then get some frozen veggies that you like. Maybe that's peas and carrots in a little shredded up bag, you know? Or maybe it's like the California blend of like cauliflower, broccoli, whatever. Get some veggies you like, and it's frozen. Throw that in the microwave right after your rice, and then you have your entire meal done in 10 minutes. 15 minutes tops if you're a little bit slower at cooking it, but you can have an entire meal done that fast. 2 meals, too. Usually that's 2 meals for me. It'll be lunch today and lunch tomorrow. That easy. So that's meal number 1. You get some taco seasoning as well. I forgot to mention that. Crucial detail. Get some taco seasoning for your protein and just dump it on there. Siete brand is my personal favorite, but whatever taco seasoning you like, just dump it on there. It makes the protein taste phenomenal. Your rice and everything will be done. Whole meal comes together, 10 minutes. Super easy. Now, another one. Ooh, this is one of my favorites. I wrote this down. Goodles. So simple, okay? Now, look, you know, if you have the palate of a child, Goodles is great. It's a mac and cheese brand, which has high quality food, decent ingredients, pretty good protein portions, and fiber. We're trying to get more fiber in our diet. People these days don't know that fiber is actually quite helpful. I'm trying to do that, incorporate it myself, more fiber into your diet. So go check out Goodles. It should be in your nearest grocery store. Super useful. Another super simple diet, okay? You're gonna do the same thing of your protein with some taco seasoning on it, right? I know, it's all like specific details of the same thing kind of repeated differently, but this is so useful because you hit your protein and you're eating high quality stuff. I like to do chicken specifically for Goodles. It just works better. So I throw my chicken in the air fryer, then I make my Goodles package, boom, done. 2 meals, 15 minutes. Your Goodles is high protein. You can get up to like 60 to 65 grams of protein with a small meal like this. It is so simple. Okay, Goodles, fantastic. Eggs and cottage cheese. This is one of my go-to breakfasts as of recently. Hard boil some eggs. Get one of those hard boil egg makers if that's something you're interested in. You can make like 6 at a time, and it takes like 5 minutes, and you don't get any extra calories from butter or oil. If you're on a cut, that's why it's really useful. But eggs, hard boil them, throw a cup of cottage cheese in there. You can get so much protein in, and it tastes great. That's personally one of my favorites. If you're kind of not a cottage cheese fan, you know, maybe that's something you don't care about, but cottage cheese is a fantastic way of getting some protein in. It's creamy and it's good. Last thing I want to put on here, yogurt bowls, fire. That's literally what I wrote down, yogurt bowls, fire. Super useful. It's a dessert. You can get it in later in the evening, or maybe you just want to eat plain yogurt. I don't know, whatever you like, but really great way of getting a lot of protein in is yogurt bowls as well. Throw some fruit in there, maybe a little bit of honey, maybe some maple syrup, whatever you want to do to sweeten it up. Throw that together. You can get a ton of protein in, and that takes 2 minutes to assemble, maybe 30 seconds if you're fast. Super, super easy way to get your protein in, so do not disregard that. And that is pretty much it. There's obviously more and more, plenty of different things you can do for your diet, but those are the simplest things that I incorporate, some of the meals that I've been eating on the regular. If you guys want a video where I break down and actually like cook the food for you guys and show you how I make it, I can definitely do something like that. I can do a full video of showing how I actually make the food. If that's something you guys want, comment that. I'll 100% do that. But anyways, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. I mean, this is a bit of a longer one because I just like to yap at you guys, but I appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you are looking for A to Z training laid out for you, check out my program, first link below. I know it's a self-plug, but this is my business, okay? This is what I want to teach for you guys. This is what I enjoy. So if you want to learn more from me, check it out. I will have tons of sauce in there. It's discounted at the time of this video being posted. I appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to subscribe for more minimalist training tips. I'm going to be dropping another video soon about the Greek ideal and how Greek training and our philosophy will go hand in hand in the modern day and age. And I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for next week. I will be there. And I'll catch you guys later. Go achieve some greatness. Peace.